Hey everyone, and welcome. As a nursing student, you know that mastering your clinical skills is absolutely essential for providing safe, effective care. So today, we're going to dive deep into a really important one: insulin pump administration. We're going to break this whole thing down step by step so you can feel confident. Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics. What exactly is an insulin pump? Well, it's not just a one and done injection. Think of it as a really smart device that delivers a slow, steady, continuous dose of insulin. We call that the basal rate. And on top of that, it lets the patient get extra doses or a bolus whenever they need it, like before a meal. Getting this skill down is a huge confidence booster out on the floor. And that's exactly what this explainer is for, to give you clear, practical steps to get you there. So, you ready? Let's get into it. First up, let's build the foundation. Before we even think about touching the equipment, we have to understand the device itself and, just as important, who on our team is allowed to do what. Okay, this is super important, so let's break it down. Scope of practice is everything. An RN can delegate this task, but only to a practical nurse, a PN, who has been properly trained. Now look at that hard line for assistive personnel. APs can check blood sugar, sure, but they absolutely cannot start or adjust the pump. That's a critical safety boundary we never ever cross. Now that we know who does what, let's get into the prep phase. This is really the heart of the planning step of the nursing process. You've got to remember, proper preparation is everything. It's how we set the stage to make sure this whole procedure is safe and successful. So before you even grab your first piece of equipment, your brain should be running through this safety checklist. This is a key part of your patient assessment. Do they have any allergies? Am I 100% sure this is the right patient? Are we following standard precautions? And have I looked at their chart? These aren't just boxes to tick off, guys. They're your fundamental safety nets. And this right here is the why. Why do we review that chart so carefully? It's not just about checking labs. It's about seeing the whole picture of your patient so you can actually anticipate and prevent problems before they start. That's what makes for great nursing, being proactive, not reactive. Once those initial safety checks are done, it's time to gather your tools. Think of this as your pre-flight checklist. Having absolutely everything ready to go and right within reach makes the whole procedure so much smoother and less stressful for you and for the patient. Okay, equipment's all set. Now we get to the most important part of any procedure: the human connection. How we interact with our patients is just as crucial as any technical skill we perform. These first 4 steps, they're the bedrock of trust and safety. Pull that curtain for privacy, give them a warm introduction, wash your hands right there in front of them, and then confirm their identity with 2 separate identifiers. This whole sequence, it tells the patient, I respect you and you're in safe hands. Now that you've built that little bit of trust, the next step is to bring your patient into the process. They're your partner in this. And that means you've got to explain exactly what you're about to do. This isn't just being nice, it's a huge part of safe, collaborative care. And here's why that education piece is so powerful. It does way more than just inform them. It actively lowers their anxiety and makes that nurse-client relationship so much stronger. I mean, think about it. When patients actually understand what's happening, they feel more in control and they become partners in their own health. All right, all the groundwork is laid. Now let's dive into the implementation phase of the nursing process. This is the core skill, the hands-on, step-by-step process of actually administering the insulin pump. So the procedure starts with one last check of the patient. Are they showing any signs of high or low blood sugar? Once you've assessed, you'll prepare the insulin, do that vital triple check of the medication against the order, and then you'll physically load the cartridge and connect the tubing to the pump. Next up is priming and programming. You're going to prime the tubing, which just means getting the insulin to flow all the way to the tip. Then you'll program the pump with the exact dose from the doctor's order. And this is so important. You're going to meticulously check that tubing for any little air bubbles. And here's exactly why that bubble check is a non-negotiable step.
Any air in that line is taking up space where insulin should be, and that means your patient is not getting their full correct dose. Getting rid of every single bubble is all about medication accuracy and patient safety. Simple as that.
All right, now we're at the bedside, ready for insertion. You'll get your patient into a comfortable position, clean the site really well, give the skin a little pinch to lift up that subcutaneous tissue, and then activate the insertion device. Most of the new devices make this part super quick and pretty comfortable for the patient. And this is a nursing 101 principle we can never, ever forget. Our skin is our best protective barrier. By cleansing it properly before we break that barrier, we dramatically reduce the risk of introducing germs and causing a nasty infection. The pump is on, but guess what? We are not done yet. The follow-through, what we call the evaluation phase, is what separates just getting a task done from performing a truly professional nursing skill. Let's cover those final checks. To wrap it all up, you'll secure the site with a sterile dressing. Clip the palm securely to their clothing, immediately get rid of that needle in the sharps container, and then, of course, make sure your patient is comfortable. Every single one of these steps is about safety and care. Before you walk out of that room, always, always do a final safety scan. Is the call light in reach? Is the bed in the lowest position and locked? Can they reach their water and their phone? This simple habit prevents falls and makes sure your patient can get help if they need it. And your evaluation continues long after you leave the room. You have to be constantly monitoring. Can you spot the signs of hypoglycemia, low blood sugar? You're looking for sweating, shaking, maybe some confusion. And for hyperglycemia, high blood sugar, the classic signs are increased thirst and having to pee a lot. Knowing these cold is what allows you to jump in and intervene quickly. And the very last piece of this puzzle is documentation. This closes the loop on the entire nursing process. You've heard it a million times. If you didn't chart it, it didn't happen. Accurate, timely charting keeps the whole team on the same page and provides that crucial legal record of the care you gave. So we walked through the whole procedure from start to finish. But I want to leave you with a question to really think about. Forget the checklist for a second. How does every single phase of this skill, from the prep to the patient interaction to the final chart note, how does it all embody the core principles of patient safety? Really let that sink in.